Hi everyone, it's Jennie Black with a video for Splitcoaststampers today. Today we're going to color some transparent balloons, and while we're doing that we're going to learn how to build a little bit of volume to each balloon and to add the transparent look where the back balloon shows through the front balloon. And so how we're going to get started is we're going to first talk about volume or depth of the balloon. And in order to do that, what we do is we divide things into hills and valleys. I'm going to use this little bottle to show you what I'm talking about. Let's turn off one light and then you can see what I'm talking about. When you put this underneath the light, let's get this in the right place. Can you see that strong highlight on the bottle? That is where your white spot or your highlight is going to be on your image. Right here is the top of the hill where it's going to be the strongest. The light is going to be the strongest. So you're going to use the lighter colors here, and as the light hits the image, it gets darker and darker as it gets further away from the light source. So this is what I call hills and valleys. The top of the hill gets the highlight or the lightest colors, and down here, as you go further away, it's going to get darker. So these are going to be darker colors. And then where the two layers meet together, can you see the cast shadow on my finger a little bit? Or at least you can see it on my hand. There's a cast shadow. So right here, we're going to put a little bit of a gray or a darker color down here on this level to make this look like it's two layers instead of just one piece of paper. So that's what we're going to do. And we're also going to do a little bit of blending, but I'm going to pretty much whip through this pretty quickly so that the video is not too long. I color with 4 colors. I usually color with 3 colors and a gray or a shading color. In my yellows, I'm using a kind of a brown color for my shading. So I get started by making a plan using my lightest color. I'm going to quickly color this balloon in. It does not have to be solid, it just has to be kind of colored in. And this is my plan. There's the top of my hill. That's where my highlight is going to go. And I leave this white so I remember not to fill it in with color. And at the very end, I'll lightly fill it in with my lightest color. So there's my first color. Now I'm going to go to my very darkest color, and I'm going to just kind of go around the edges and color my tie. We don't have to be super neat at this part. There we go. And now I'm going to step down to my next darkest color. I'm going to color in circles over the inside edge of that darker color. What this is doing is it's diluting the edge of that darker color and pulling it in towards my highlight. That way you don't have a line between your two shades of yellow. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work. It's not magic. You have to work at it to kind of dilute that a little bit and pull it towards the center. Okay, so there's my next color. And I'm going to step down to a Y13. This is my third color. I'm going to color in circles over the inside edge of the previous color, diluting the edge of that darker color and pulling it towards my highlight. And then I'm going to go back to my original color that I started off with, my very lightest color. It's a Y11. And pull it together in the center. And you can see how this has a little bit of volume to it. The balloon looks like it has some shape. It's actually the shape of a balloon instead of flat like this here balloon. This balloon is flat, one layer of color. This one here has some dimension to it. So I'm going to whip through these next balloons. I kind of showed you how to do it. The next ones we do exactly the same, and then I'll come back and show you how to do some cast shadowing. Okay, so there are all of my 4 balloons. I colored them kind of quickly for you, but it's still the same step. I did my plan with my lightest color, and then I went dark, medium, and light, working myself from dark and down in the valleys to light at the top of the hill. Now we're going to add a little bit of cast shadows. You can do that with a grayer shade of the same color. For instance, in this green, I used some very bright colors, but I could use a muted green. This one here is kind of like an olive green. It has a lot of gray in it. And I could use this and come in and add a bit of a cast shadow there. If it's too strong, then take one of your lighter colors and you can come in and dilute that a little bit. And then you have a nice dark green cast shadow there for your balloon. Now for my yellows, I don't like to use gray, so I use a darker brown. This one here is a yellow brown or yellow red, and this one works really great for my yellows. Now if you don't want to use a darker shade of that color, you can use a medium gray. I'm going to use this N2 for my reds. So I'm going to come in here and add a little bit of a line there, and you can see it added a cast shadow. And what that does is it kind of lifts that green balloon and makes the green balloon look closer to us. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing here with our gray. And again, if you think it's too harsh, the color is too harsh, then you can always come back in with one of your lighter shades of red or coral and soften those edges. On my blue, I could either use my N2 again, or I could use something like a B45, a grayer blue color. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this N2 because it's right here in the right hand. So I'm going to add this in here. There's my cast shadow. It's a little bit strong for me, so I'm going to go ahead and go back in with my B00, and I'm going to soften that. But there's a nice cast shadow right there. So these here strings, I just kind of went through and drew them with my pen, but I'm not going to get into that part of the picture. I mostly wanted to show you how to do the balloons. And so there's my balloons. Now we're going to do the transparent part so that you can see the back balloon showing through your front balloon like this here. It's super easy to do. All you have to do is look at your image and take the lightest color of your back balloon. So this one here is going to be an R20. I'm going to take my R20 and steady it. Right here is where it would go through the green, or go behind the green balloon, and right here it would go through. So I just draw an imaginary line and I color it in, and there it is. It looks like the green balloon is behind, the coral balloon is behind that green balloon. So let's go over here and do the same thing because we have coral over here. It would go through right here, and then you just kind of have to draw an imaginary line and go with it. There it is. So there's our coral balloon behind the yellow, and now we're going to do the green and the blue. So here's my blue balloon, and turn your paper however it works best for you. The blue balloon is going to kind of come like this, and then it's going to go through this green balloon, and then it's going to come back into the yellow balloon. This one I'm using the B00 instead of the B000 because the B000 is so pale. So there's my blue balloon coming right through there. Again, if that blue is too strong, go back and dilute it with the lightest color of your front balloon. So this is my Y11, and I'm just going to soften it a little tiny bit, and now it looks like that blue balloon is coming right through. So now we only have to deal with the green balloon. So we're going to take our YG01, which is our lightest green, and we're going to do the same thing. Draw an imaginary line right here. Go right through that. And that's all there is to drawing transparent balloons. I hope you enjoyed my video. At this point, all you would have to do is do more layers of balloons if you want to have the 3D look here, and then assemble your card. Everybody's balloons are going to be different if you use different stamps, and so this is my card. It's very simple and basic, but I liked it that way. I love how the greeting is inside the stamp, and so I don't even need a greeting to go along with it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please come back for more videos at Split Coast Stampers. Have a great day.